come to this little stream crossing, which I'm sure is normally not much of anything. But I am not going to walk right through that today. Come up here. And these rocks. I'm sure this footage is outstanding. Well, here we are again, back at Oconee State Park for the 2024 edition of Ramdino's End of Days hike. The weather forecast is kind of nasty for the first few days, but then we should have a beautiful finish. Here we go, off like a herd of turtles. This is the junction with Palmetto Trail. Came from that way. The Palmetto Trail continues over there. And the Foothills Trail continues this way. It's not actively raining, just more of a mist. I think any water that is falling on me from above is probably just coming off the leaves. But we do expect heavy rain tonight. Got to get to camp before that heavy rain arrives. Check in later. Hurricane Helene devastated this area and this trail. In particular, half the trail's not even open yet, but thanks to the Foothills Trail Conservancy, volunteers, trail maintainers, the first half of the trail has been opened. That looked like a fresh cut, so I wouldn't be surprised if that tree came down with the hurricane. This is pretty, especially in this fog. I should have mentioned that this is intended to be a yo-yo hike of sorts. Of course, the trail's not open all the way to Table Rock. It's only open to the Bad Creek access. But the group voted to do a yo-yo to Bad Creek and back to Oconee State Park. I may turn around at Whitewater myself. I hiked the whole trail last year, and I'm just not sure that I need to descend down to that river valley and then come back up just so that I could say that I hiked every available mile of the Foothills Trail. I'm looking to meet fresh ground and the gang at about the 6 mile mark, and I'm not really sure how far I've gone yet, but should reach him by lunchtime. That's the plan for lunch anyway. Of course, a lot of trees fell during Hurricane Helene, but this tree was a special tree because it had a white blaze on it. White blaze! That's where we came from. And this is where we're going. Can't imagine the work that went into clearing this section. Looks like we have a new bridge ahead. Maybe that means it's not as slippery as some of them can seem to be. Oh yeah, that's not bad. So I just left Fresh Ground's first stop at mile 6. Ran into Turtleback and Michael McAnally. I suck at hiking. Did not see Leo, the hiking dog. Bandit showed up with his surprise, which I figured would be bluegrass, and I figured correctly. Good to see those guys. Also saw Stick the Eagle. So I heard that Mama Bear and Little Bear, soon to be Just Bear, were not far behind. But seeing all those people and getting a hot dog and some home fries off of Fresh Ground has me energized. Hoping to make camp at Burles Ford tonight, which is about 10 more miles. Check in later. Here he is, Harvey Falls. Let's zoom in. Coming up on another bridge. Pretty sizable waterway. Maybe the largest I've crossed over so far anyway. Let's keep moving. All right. The Foothills Trail continues in that direction, but this 0.05 side trail to Pigpen Falls is definitely worth it. Let's go check it out. Licklog Falls is a little further down this way, not worth it in my opinion, but Pigpen Falls is definitely worth the 0.05 to get there. This is the second time I've hiked the Foothills Trail, but both times have been in the winter. I like to think that this is called Pigpen Falls because in the summer, dirty, sweaty hikers pile in there like a pig pen. And the cool, refreshing waters, which would be too cool and too refreshing for me right now.
It was at this point that Bandit and Bluegrass overtook me. I think they'd both hiked the trail before, so they weren't doing side quests, but they were nice enough to take this picture with me.
Cool tree. think this might be the tree I referenced in last year's videos. Pretty good view of a bend in the river. Been hiking along this river for at least half a mile now. Awesome. I'm not making very good time because I keep stopping to look at this river. Somehow I missed this landmark of the trail on my last hike. This is the crooked tree. It's got that corkscrew shape. I don't know how I missed it coming from the other direction. Guess I just had my head down. But it is very crooked. Oh no! It's the lemon squeezer. Of course, when you film something like this for YouTube, you gotta do it twice. Or 3 times, actually. Here's one of the nicer views I've had today. It's only about 10:15. But maybe some of this is gonna burn off. This is as good a time as any to wrap up last night. We hiked to Burroughs Ford Campground. Honestly, we would have bailed out at any opportunity, but all the campsites before that were full. It ended up being a 15+ mile day. But the campground at Burroughs Ford is a lot nicer than any of the campgrounds that we passed along the way, so maybe that was a good thing. The last hour or so we were hiking in the pouring rain in the dark. We had said it's gonna rain tomorrow, we'd rather hike in the dark than in the rain. We ended up hiking in the dark in the rain. I had my breakfast bar for dinner, so I didn't have to fool with cooking in the rain. And then this morning there was a break in the rain, and so I cooked my beef stroganoff for breakfast. It was delicious. Right now I'm about 3.5 miles from fresh ground, where I will probably eat again. Check in later. Got a little bit of nice level trail here, so I'm gonna let you walk along with me. A lot easier to share these parts of the trail than some of the others. It has stopped raining. Any water drops you hear just falling out of the trees. But I think there's more rain in the forecast later. headed to fresh ground. Well, I'm only 8/10 of a mile from the fish hatchery parking lot where fresh ground is set up today. But I had to stop and check out this view of Whiteside Mountain. Let me share it with you. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, I have reached the fish hatchery parking lot. I'm gonna try to survey the scene for you from a distance. Don't want to get too close, invade anybody's privacy. But this is what it is to walk into Fresh Grounds Trail Magic. Lots of credit to Ramdino for organizing these end-of-day hikes, and to Fresh Ground. Together, they provide an opportunity for the hiker community to come together. This is a neat little section. All these moldering logs. And a footbridge. Check in later. I've reached the old man tree. As I've said before in one of my other videos, I don't quite see the old man in that tree, but it is an interesting tree. Okay, everybody, I've reached another point of interest along the trail, Hiker's Peril Falls. Not sure why it's called Hiker's Peril Falls. Perhaps some crazy hiker tried to go over the top in a barrel, or something like that. With all this rain we've been having, Hiker's Peril Falls is supercharged. And not far after Hiker's Peril Falls, we have this unnamed waterfall, at least a view of it. And another angry rager of the waterfall. This is the trail this morning. Still raining, rained all night, thunderstorms. This is not a stream, it is the trail. I guess technically that's a stream. But it would normally just go down there. That's turtleback hikes in front of me. Headed towards the North Carolina state line. Then another 1.5 miles to the Girl Scout benches and some cell service. And then I'm pretty sure it's downhill. Ah, the state line. All right. Let's come to this little stream crossing, which I'm sure is normally not much of anything. But I am not going to walk right through that today. Come up here. And these rocks. I'm sure this footage is outstanding. That's where we came from. And this is where we're going. Got another rager to get across. Ah. I gotta be getting close to the Girl Scout benches, so I thought I'd pull out the camera and let you come along with me. Wow. What a view. I think that's Lake Jocassee. Gonna look great on YouTube. It's really fogged in today. Some sense how powerful this waterfall is. It's not this kind of stuff. And just like that, I'm back at Oconee State Park. I walked into the bathroom at Whitewater, And I must have fallen into a magical portal. Transported me right back here.